Could there be a truth about the soul and death that even the greatest minds have kept hidden from us? Imagine a letter locked away for 80 years, written by Carl Jung, one of the most brilliant thinkers of our time, revealing a secret so profound. It could change the way we see life, death, and everything beyond. A secret he dared not share with the world until long after his passing. In the spring of 1944, while lying in a hospital bed after a near-fatal heart attack, Jung experienced something extraordinary, a journey beyond his body, a glimpse into a realm where the soul's true nature was laid bare, a realm that left him both in awe and trembling with a truth he called too real for the world to accept. For those of us seeking deeper meaning in our lives, especially as we navigate the uncertainties of our later years, this hidden letter offers a window into the mysteries of the soul, a chance to reflect on what truly lies beyond death, and an invitation to explore our own path to awakening. In this video, we'll uncover Carl Jung's near-death experience as shared in his banned letter, the profound message he discovered about the soul, the haunting vision of humanity's future he was shown, and the call he left for each of us to seek our own truth, a call that might just change the way you live today. Let's begin with a letter hidden for 80 years, in which Carl Jung reveals a near-death experience that changed him forever. In the spring of 1944, Carl Jung, the renowned Swiss psychologist who gave us the concepts of archetypes and the collective, unconscious, lay in a hospital bed, his heart failing after a severe attack. Doctors recorded a cardiac arrest, a moment of complete silence where life seemed to slip away. But for Jung, this wasn't the end. It was the beginning of a journey that would redefine his understanding of existence. In a letter addressed to a Swiss colleague, discovered decades later in a private collection, Jung describes what happened in those fleeting minutes when his body lay still. He didn't simply lose consciousness. He left his body entirely, hovering above the earth, seeing it as a distant blue sphere, a vision so vivid it felt more real than anything he'd known, a vision that predated NASA photographs by years. Jung wrote, "Everything that had existed before dissolved, no pain, no fear, no time." He was drawn further into a space that defied explanation, a space that revealed truths about the soul and what lies beyond death. Truths he insisted were not metaphors, but a reality he witnessed with absolute clarity. This Carl Jung near-death experience wasn't just a fleeting moment of delirium, it was a profound encounter with the eternal, one that Jung kept secret for fear of being labeled insane, one that he believed the world of the 1940s was not ready to hear. It's like a door that swings open to a realm we've only ever dreamed of, a realm where the boundaries of life and death blur, where the soul's journey takes center stage, a realm that Jung, a man of science, risked his reputation to describe, knowing its implications could shatter everything we think we know. In this letter, Jung doesn't just recount a personal experience. He challenges us to rethink our understanding of life, death, and the soul's purpose, to see beyond the physical and into the eternal, to ask ourselves what lies on the other side of the threshold we all must cross. Now, let's step into the space of light Carl Jung described, where he uncovered the truth about the soul. In his hidden letter, Jung writes of being drawn into a realm that words can barely capture, a place he likened to an ancient temple, not glowing with light, but carved from light itself, a sanctuary where the boundaries of the self dissolved, where he felt the presence of something majestic and intimate. a being that wasn't an angel or a human, but a force of pure understanding, communicating not through words, but through streams of warmth that filled him with clarity. In this space, Jung realized that what we call consciousness is merely a shadow, a faint reflection of the true self, the soul that exists beyond our earthly lives, a soul that carries a purpose far greater than we can imagine. The being revealed to him that life is a school, not just for the personality we wear, but for the soul's eternal journey, that death is not an end, but a gateway to a deeper reality, a reality where the soul continues to grow, to learn, to become. Jung describes seeing faces he didn't recognize from this life, yet knew intimately, his father, a child he never had, souls connected to him beyond time, beyond memory, as if he was remembering himself in a way that transcended his biography, a state he called absolute recognition, where thoughts became transparent, where knowledge was pure, infallible, and whole. This Carl Jung soul journey wasn't just a glimpse of the afterlife. It was a revelation of the soul's eternal nature, a nature that exists to evolve through every experience, every pain, every life, a nature that death only deepens, not destroys. It's like a river of wisdom flowing through the ages, carrying the truth that our souls are on a journey far greater than one lifetime, a journey where every moment, every struggle is a lesson, a step toward becoming who we truly are, a journey that doesn't end with death, but opens into a new chapter of understanding, of growth, of light. Jung's words in this letter aren't just a recounting of what he saw. They're a call to see our lives through the lens of the soul, to recognize that we are more than our bodies, more than our fears, more than our time on earth. Now let's explore the vision of the future that Carl Jung was shown, where the boundary between worlds becomes thin. In his hidden letter, Jung describes a moment during his near-death experience where he was given a glimpse of humanity's future, a vision that both awed and unsettled him, a vision he struggled to put into words but feverishly recorded upon returning to his body. He saw a world of light without shadow, a place where the veil between life and death, between this world and the next, had grown so thin that people could feel more, see more, experience the unseen in ways that were both liberating and dangerous. Jung wrote, "I saw a time when the boundary between worlds would become thinner. Some will go mad, others will awaken." This wasn't a utopian dream, but a warning, a prophecy of a future where humanity would stand at a crossroads, where the thinning of the veil would bring not just freedom, but chaos for those unready to face the truth, a truth that could burn as much as it frees, a truth that requires a readiness of the soul to withstand its intensity. He described this future as a mirror without reflection, a world where everything is visible, where death becomes transparent, but where something vital, forgetfulness, pain, suffering, has been cleansed away, leaving the soul without its weight, without its depth, a world that is both beautiful and hollow, both free and lost, a world where the absence of shadow makes it impossible to understand the light. It's like a mirror that shows everything, yet reveals nothing, a haunting vision of a future where humanity gains access to the eternal, but risks losing the very struggles that give life meaning, the very darkness that makes the morning dawn so precious, a future that Jung feared might overwhelm those unprepared for its revelations. This Carl Jung near-death experience wasn't just a personal journey. It was a glimpse into a collective destiny, a call for humanity to prepare, to awaken, to face the shadows within before the veil thins, before the boundaries dissolve, before the truth becomes too real to bear. Let's uncover why Carl Jung chose to keep his near-death experience a secret, even from those closest to him. In the letter that lay hidden for 80 years, Jung reveals not just what he saw, but the heavy burden of silence he carried after returning to life in 1944, a silence born of both fear and wisdom, a silence that protected his legacy while preserving a truth he believed the world wasn't ready to hear. As a man of science, Jung had built his career on rigorous analysis, on concepts like archetypes and the collective unconscious, ideas that were already challenging for the academic world of his time. But what he experienced during his near-death journey, a vision of the soul, a temple of light, a future where the boundaries between worlds dissolve, was so far beyond the accepted frameworks of science that he feared it would undo everything he'd worked for. He wrote, "If I had spoken of this, I would not have been understood. Perhaps they would have considered me insane." A confession that reveals the depth of his inner conflict, a conflict between the truth he witnessed and the reality of a world unready to accept it, a world that might label him a mystic, a madman, a fraud, stripping him of the credibility he'd spent a lifetime building. This Carl Jung banned letter wasn't hidden out of shame, but out of necessity. A necessity Jung felt to protect his work, to ensure his ideas could continue to guide others without the shadow of disbelief that such a revelation might cast. A necessity that weighed on him like a stone, a secret he carried even as he heard echoes of that otherworldly call in the middle of the night. Jung knew that the 1940s, a time of war and rigid scientific dogma, was not the moment for such a truth to be shared, that speaking of souls, temples of light, and a future beyond death would risk his entire life's work being dismissed. But he also believed that one day, when the world approached the threshold he'd seen, his words would find those ready to hear them, those ready to seek their own truth, to face their own shadows, to prepare for a reality where the veil between worlds grows thin. Now let's turn to the final message Carl Jung left for us through this hidden letter. In the closing lines of his long-concealed confession, Jung doesn't just recount his journey beyond death. He offers a call, a quiet yet unmistakable invitation to each of us, an invitation to seek the truth he glimpsed, to listen to the whispers of our own souls, to walk a path of awakening that leads us to the same eternal questions he faced in that temple of light. He writes, "If you are reading this, it means you have already heard the call. It is quiet, like breathing in a dream, but unmistakable. And if you do not turn away, you will be guided." A message that feels less like a conclusion and more like a beginning, a challenge to look beyond the surface of our lives, to ask who we are beneath the roles we play, to seek the truth of our souls, not in books or theories, but through our own lived experience, through the courage to face our own shadows, our own fears, our own deaths. Jung shares that he asked one question in that space of light: what is truth? And the answer came not in words, but as a vision. A tree with roots descending into darkness and a crown in fire. A vision that revealed truth as growth, as pain accepted as a blessing, as darkness transformed into light. A vision that Jung believed could only be understood through the soul's journey. A journey each of us must take for ourselves. This Carl Jung spiritual awakening isn't something he wanted us to accept blindly. It's a call to seek, to explore, to listen to the quiet call within us, the call that echoes like the wind outside a window, too alive to be a dream, a call that Jung heard even after returning to life, a call that drove him to search for confirmation in alchemy, ancient mysteries, and the dreams of his patients, a call he now passes to us, urging us to ask, are we ready to discover what lies beyond the veil, to meet ourselves face to face, without masks, without names, where everything unnecessary burns away? Finally, let's reflect on how Carl Jung's experience can change our understanding of life and death. We've journeyed through a letter hidden for 80 years, a letter where Jung shares his near-death experience, a vision of the earth from above, a temple of light, a being that revealed the soul's eternal journey, a future where the boundaries between worlds grow thin, a future both liberating and perilous, a future he kept secret to protect his legacy, but left as a call for us to seek our own truth, to listen to the quiet whispers of our souls, to live with the awareness that death is not an end, but a gateway to something greater, something real, something eternal. Jung's Carl Jung near-death experience isn't just a story from the past. It's a mirror for our own lives, a mirror that reflects the eternal nature of our souls, the lessons we're here to learn, the growth that comes through pain, the truth that waits beyond the veil. A truth he urges us to seek for ourselves, not through his words, but through our own hearts, our own journeys, our own courage to face the unknown, to ask who we truly are when everything else falls away. It's like a flame that Jung lit for us, a flame that burns with the question, are we living as if our souls are immortal, as if every moment is a chance to become more of who we truly are, as if death is not a shadow to fear, but a light to step into? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever felt a call that felt too real to be a dream, a moment that made you question what lies beyond this life? If this video stirred something within you, please give it a like, subscribe to Ageless Philosophies, and share it with someone who might need to hear this today, because you deserve a life filled with meaning, a life that honors the eternal journey of your soul, a life that prepares you for the truth Jung saw. And I'm here to walk this path with you, cheering you on as you seek the light that waits beyond the threshold.